Good morning, my dear students. Today I am going to teach the multiple choice questions on the chapter Dual Nature of Matter and Radiation. Okay. So before going into the questions, we'll just recall the things that you must learn, you must be knowing before solving the questions. Okay. So here is the relationship. You can see E is equal to mc square. Okay, that is the Einstein's mass energy equivalence or mass energy relationship. Okay, that relates energy and mass. Okay, with the help of what? Speed of light in free space. Okay, so here C represents the speed of light in free space. Okay, so E is the energy and m is the mass. So for a mass m, what is the energy that's going to release are related by the equation E is equal to mc square. Okay, then we have Einstein's photoelectric in order to photoelectric equation that I'll take up later, but Einstein's energy based on energy equation based on photoelectric effect. So that is E is equal to h nu. Okay, E is equal to h nu, where nu is the frequency of the emitted photon. Nu can also be written as C by lambda. Nu can also be written as C by lambda. Okay, where lambda is the wavelength of the photon. Okay, so E is equal to h nu is the again the equation for energy, but it is based on the photoelectric effect concept. Okay, energy of photon it is. Then energy gained. See, whenever an electron is accelerated by some positive potential, okay, if there is a positive potential, the electron will start accelerating towards the potential. Then how much is the energy it is going to gain? Okay, so that is half mv square is the kinetic energy gained, which is equal to E into the potential V. Capital V indicates potential and small v is the velocity of light. Okay, so what is the kinetic energy gained by the electron when it is accelerated through the potential V? You just equate EV is equal to half mv square. So this is the energy gain. Whatever you get is in terms of electron volt. Okay, fine. Then from the same equation, you also get specific charge of the electron. Specific charge, it is nothing but the ratio of charge to mass. Charge to mass. So we have EV is equal to half mv square. Just take m to the other side. Okay. So E by m, which is equal to velocity square. Sorry. Velocity square by 2v. Okay, so this is the equation, that is specific charge of any charge you can take. Here it is electron, so it is E by m. Okay. Next, photoelectric effect that can be understood with a simple experimental setup. Actually, we need to add commutator, voltmeter, etc. But here I am showing a simple experimental setup. Easily you can understand. So it's having a glass tube, okay, which is evacuated completely, and it's having one cathode connected to negative terminal of the battery, and anode is a collector connected to positive terminal of the battery through a micro ammeter, that is to record the photoelectric current. Okay, you know photoelectric effect means the emission of electrons when light of suitable frequency incident on the cathode. Okay, so here the radiation must have a minimum frequency for the photo emission, and that is called threshold frequency, and the corresponding energy of the radiation for which photo emission just takes place is called work function. Generally we represent it by phi. Understood? It's the minimum energy of the incident radiation for which photo emission takes place. You know, photo emission means emission of electrons from the metal. Sorry. emission of electrons from the metal surface when suitable radiation incident on the metal. There are many other method of electron emission. They are thermionic emission. Sorry. Thermionic emission, you know, it is by heating the metal to sufficient value, one can get the electrons out of the metal. That is called thermionic emission. Okay. Next, we also have, you know, like field emission by emitting, by applying suitable potential, we can get the electrons from the metal surface. That is called field emission. And we can also have secondary emission by making use of some electrons itself, hitting high energy electrons on the metal surface, we can get the electrons out. It is called secondary emission. Okay. So in photo emission, so radiation must have a minimum frequency called threshold frequency, or corresponding energy is work function. Okay. Now, the emitted electron will have different energies. The electron with maximum kinetic energy will reach the anode first. Okay. So, and they record a current here. When they reach the anode, current is recorded, that is in microamp. Okay. So, it's a way of converting radiation, light energy into electrical energy. Okay. Fine. So here some of the photoelectric equations. Actually, Einstein explains the photoelectric effect properly. So what he says, when light of suitable frequency incident on a metal, you know, it consists of a large number of photons. Each photon, when it hits with the free electron of the metal, okay, the electron gains energy equal to h nu. Okay, with that energy it will get emitted and also will start moving towards the anode. That's why the energy of the incident radiation or photon is equal to work function just to release the electron from the metal surface plus the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electron, because it follows conservation of energy. So you have to write this one, maximum kinetic energy. Okay. Then this equation, Einstein's photoelectric equation, can also be written as h into nu is c by lambda is equal to work function is also h nu naught, because it's also energy, h nu only, but h nu naught. Nu naught is the threshold frequency, plus kinetic energy is written as half m v square, but v max square, maximum velocity, okay, square. And another form of writing is hc by lambda, incident radiation's energy, is equal to hc by lambda naught. Lambda naught is a threshold wavelength. It is a maximum wavelength above which no photo emission takes place. Okay, threshold wavelength, because wavelength and frequency are reciprocal to each other. Okay, or inversely proportional to each other. Plus here EV naught, see kinetic energy is also here I have shown you. Okay, kinetic energy is also EV. So kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy is EV naught or EVS. So Vs or V naught is the cutoff potential or stopping potential or retarding potential. What is that? It is a minimum negative potential of the anode when you reverse it. When you reverse it, anode becomes negative, but photo emission will definitely take place. Okay, when you apply that particular potential, even the electron with maximum kinetic energy will also be stopped. It won't come to the anode. Okay, and that particular potential is negative potential is called stopping potential or retarding potential or cutoff potential. You can just equate half mv max square is equal to EV naught. Okay, if at all you want any terms here. Huh? Okay. Next, experimentally, you know, different graphs, scientists got. Okay, we will check one by one. See, intensity of the radiation. It indicates the number of photons present in the radiation actually. Okay, so number of photons means more current, one will get here. Okay, so intensity increases means it is just like, brightness of the light is increased. So number of photons emitted will also be more, then more current will be recorded in the microammeter. So photoelectric current versus intensity, or intensity versus photoelectric current, is a linear graph. See, linear graph, starting with the origin here, origin. Okay, this you must know, they are directly proportional. Next is, here is one graph you can see, kinetic energy versus frequency of radiation. Kinetic energy versus frequency of radiation. Okay, so if you plot this one, kinetic energy along y-axis, frequency on the other axis, if you send phi to the other side, you can get the equation of the form y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, mx plus c, same equation, linear equation. So you get again a straight line graph here. It an intercept negative here. So here, when you take phi to the other side, it becomes negative. That intercept indicates work function, and the slope indicates this h. Okay, because y is equal to mx plus c. So m is the slope, that is h. That's why the graph, slope of what graph? Kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy and frequency, that fetches you slope of the graph. Okay, this one. Slope, yes, that slope is Planck's constant, sorry, h. Planck's constant, h. Okay, just I'll show you when you get a problem on that later, but you must have that idea. Next, if you plot the intensity of the radiation versus potential, this is a positive potential, this is a negative potential, there is no effect of intensity on potential. Definitely there is no relationship between them. If you change the intensity, just the photoelectric current changes, no change in potential. Okay, but we will see what happens. This graph indicates, for one particular intensity, you see here, there are 3 stopping potentials, different potentials. This indicates the radiations, incident radiations frequency changes, means that leads to different stopping potentials. Okay, they are represented by this. So larger stopping potential indicates that is my negative, anyhow, negative value. Okay, indicates that its frequency is more, frequency of radiation is more. Here we can't show that for this one because we have plotted current versus potential here, intensity versus potential. Okay, but this shows that all the 3 radiations are having same intensity, but having different energy, different frequency. Which is having more frequency? The one with larger stopping potential. Okay, so lesser stopping potential means the maximum kinetic energy of the electron is also less. Okay, fine. Next, here is one graph you can see. Again, positive potential here, negative potential here. Intensity is plotted along y-axis. You see that for different intensity radiations, I1, I2 and I3, potential is same. That's what I told you. So, intensity changes means only photoelectric current changes. There won't be any change in the potential. Okay, potential is same here. Okay. Fine. Next is de Broglie's equation. So matter wave hypothesis, you must recall, every material particle like neutron, electron and proton, they exhibit wave nature. They behave exactly like a wave. Okay. So then it must be having a wavelength, that is called de Broglie wavelength. Okay. That is given by h by momentum p. Okay, or can also be written as h by mv. Okay, the particle with very large mass do not exhibit the usual wavelength. The wavelength is very, very small, negligible. Okay. If the particle is having very small mass, like microparticles, electron, neutron, proton, etc., they exhibit a larger wavelength. That is generally if it is in the wavelength of visible light, then we can observe their behavior of wave nature. Okay. So lambda is h by p or h by mv. Then you can also have the equation for de Broglie wavelength in terms of kinetic energy. Okay, lambda is equal to h by square root of 2m or k, 2mk or whatever. Mass of the electron here, ek means it is a kinetic energy of the electron. Okay, so you can also have de Broglie wavelength in terms of potential. Okay, so lambda h by square root of 2m ev, because kinetic energy is ev. Okay, that's all. Then for thermal neutrons, we have de Broglie wavelength, which is equal to lambda is equal to h by square root of 3m k. K is the Boltzmann constant. Its value is 1.38 into 10 power minus 23 SI units. Okay, this K. And T is the absolute temperature. Okay, as the temperature increases, de Broglie wavelength decreases. You must know the relationship between those physical quantities with these four equations. Okay, I hope with the help of these you can solve the questions. Okay, now we'll go. If you want to take the screenshot, you can just take it now, and I'll rub this off while solving the questions. Okay, so in photoelectric effect, the current, first question, okay, the current increases with increase of frequency. No, frequency increases means kinetic energy increases. Okay, maximum kinetic energy. Decreases with, current decreases with increase of frequency. That is also wrong. So current does not depend on frequency, correct? So current will never depend on frequency, but it depends on intensity of light. Okay, current depends on intensity of light. I proportional to I, like that you can think of. Current proportional to intensity. Okay, so first one is C. Next, second question. A source of light is placed at a distance of 1 meter from a photocell. Okay, so here you just see this source is, this is of course parallel means infinity, but anyhow, if the at one distance the source is kept, means it will be having one particular intensity. Now they say it is at 1 meter. Okay, and stopping potential is V naught. They say stopping potential is initially V naught. Okay, if the source of light is placed at a distance of 50 centimeter, initially it was quite at a larger distance, 1 meter. Now it is kept at 50 centimeter. Okay, then if that is the case, they are asking what happens to the potential. Okay, so cutoff potential is how much? See, cutoff potential or stopping potential depends only on the energy of incident radiation or frequency of incident radiation. Okay, if you change the distance of the source from the photocathode, what happens? The intensity changes, so that current will change. That's all. No change in potential. So therefore, now also the potential is V naught. So the answer A now. No change in potential. Okay. Next, third one. Blue light can cause photoelectric emission, okay, from the metal, but yellow light cannot. Okay, so different wavelengths they are talking about, visible radiations. Okay, with blue light, photoemission is possible. With yellow light, photoemission is not possible. So you can have just all the colors with gear. Okay, yes. So here wavelength maximum here, lambda maximum, but energy minimum or frequency minimum. Frequency minimum. Okay. So here frequency maximum. Maximum frequency lab after particular frequency, if the frequency keeps on increasing, photo emission is good actually. More and more kinetic energy the electrons will get. Okay, photo emission will take place after cutoff frequency. Now they say blue light photo emission is possible. Okay, blue light photo emission is possible. Okay, yellow light photo emission is not possible. Photo emission is not possible with yellow light. Now they are asking with red light, in red colored light, is it possible, to get photo emission? Of course not. Okay. So yellow not possible means frequency is still less for red. Okay. Even with red, photo emission is not possible. Okay. So which is option therefore? No photoelectric emission will occur. So the answer C. Answer C. Okay. Next, fourth one. In which of the following emission of electrons, emission of electrons does not take place? Okay. So there are certain cases given. Thermionic emission, yes, photo emission takes place. Photoelectric emission, possible. Secondary emission means again making the electron speed, larger speed electrons are made to hit the metal, okay, and getting electrons again. So secondary emission is also possible, in which electrons you can get. B, you see the option X-ray emission. So that will destroy the metal structure itself, okay, disorder takes place within the metal itself. So their X-ray emission in that electrons are not emitted. Okay. So answer B. Answer B. For fourth one, answer B. Next, fifth one. The threshold frequency for a photosensitive metal is 3.3 into 10 power 14 hertz. Threshold frequency is nu. Threshold frequency is nu naught. Okay, 3.3 into 10 power 14 hertz. Okay. If the light of frequency, how much? Incident light's frequency nu is 8.2 into 10 power 14 hertz. Okay. Incident on the metal, then the cutoff voltage is how much? They are asking what is the cutoff voltage or V naught. Okay, cutoff voltage is how much? We have the equation here. I hope you can see here. H nu is equal to here H nu naught. Phi you can write as H nu naught. Okay, plus kinetic energy is EV naught. Okay, can make use of that. H nu is equal to H nu naught plus EV naught. Okay, we want EV naught, V naught. So EV naught you take this side is equal to H into here nu minus nu naught. Okay, now V naught if you want H by E into nu minus nu naught. Okay, we will substitute all these. We will substitute for all these. Okay, V naught is equal to, H is 6.625 into 10 power minus 34. Okay. By E is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Okay. Into, this is 8.2 minus 3.3 into 10 power 14. That's common. 10 power 14. Okay. Now, you just see here, always you have to simplify the powers first in this chapter because lot of calculations will be involved. So, powers of 10, you just see, minus 34 plus 14 gives you 10 power minus 20. And 10 power minus 19, here 10 power minus 19, if it get cancelled, you get 10 power minus 1. Okay, fine. So, you get 6.625 into 10 power minus 1 by 1.6 into, the difference you see here, it's 12 minus 3, that is 9. Here 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay. Now, what I'll do, 10 power minus 1 and 4.9. It is like half, because it is almost like 5. 10 power minus 1 is 0.5. That is half. The 2 and this one will get cancelled. How much? 2 3s are 6. 2 3s are 6. 2 1s are 2 2s are again 2 5s are. Okay. Divided by 1.6. See, 1.6 is roughly, you can write, is almost like 3 by 2. Almost like 3 by 2. Not exactly, little more than 3 by 2. But it is easy for you to cancel. So here 3 point something you will get here, little more. Okay. At this and this almost cancels. 2 goes to numerator. Okay, this is how you have to manipulate because you're not using calculator or any other, log table or so. Nearer answer, they are, even they are asking almost equal to, nearly. Okay, so it is almost equal to 2 volt. Okay, so it is how it is B. So option B, answer B. Okay, fetches you 2 volt. Okay, so quite lengthy problems are, but direct. Okay, fine. Next, sixth one, the rest mass of photon. Photon is a light particle. Its rest mass is 0. Okay, so when it is at rest, its mass is 0. It will be having mass only when it is moving. Okay, so that's why the direct answer, this one also. Answer, rest mass of photon is 0. That is answer A. Okay. Next, photo emission occurs only when the incident light has more than certain minimum what? Frequency. Okay, so that's the basic thing required. The incident radiation must have a minimum frequency. Then only, it can kick off some electrons from the metal, okay, with the energy called work function. Okay, so the minimum frequency is called threshold frequency or cutoff frequency. Okay, so the answer is D now. Answer D, frequency. Next, eighth one. When monochromatic radiation of intensity I, what is the intensity? Intensity is I, okay, falls on a metal surface, the number of photoelectrons and maximum kinetic energy are N and T. See here, the number of what? Photoelectrons represented by N. Okay. Kinetic energy. Okay. Kinetic energy maximum E is represented by T. They represent like this. Intensity as I, number of photoelectrons as N, and maximum kinetic energy as T. Okay. If the intensity of radiation is 2I, if they change the intensity to 2I, okay, then they are asking what is the number of emitted electrons, how it changes, and maximum kinetic energy. Okay, see here, whenever the intensity is changed, okay, what are the changes taking place? The number of photoelectrons also changes. If this is doubled, number of photoelectrons also doubled, and photoelectric current is also doubled. Okay, photoelectric current they have not asked, but number of electrons will become how much? 2n. Number of electrons will become 2n. Okay, but what is the effect of intensity on the kinetic energy? No change. Okay, if you change the intensity, current and number of photoelectrons will change. Okay, so it won't change, it remains the same. Okay, so these are the two answers. Okay, so therefore 2n and T, number of photoelectrons doubled, no change in maximum kinetic energy. So the answer B. Okay, answer B. Next, ninth one. There is a graph shown here. Okay, so you have to identify which is the correct statement. I will draw the graph here. I already explained during synopsis what does these graphs indicate. Okay, I'll redraw once again here for this problem. Like this. Okay, this is current, photoelectric current. This is positive anode potential. Okay, and this is a negative anode potential, and they named all these, you know, like this is A, this is A, okay, and this is B, and this one is C. Okay, they have named like this. Okay, now we will see which are the options suitable. Okay, so here D, if you go for D, you know, will come from D to A. Curves A and B represent A and B. See, when you look at, you can understand. These two curves are having different intensity and same stopping potential and same kinetic energy. If kinetic energy is same, stopping potential is same. See, for both A and B, stopping potential is same. Okay. Then look at B and C. Look at B and C. Both B and C are having same intensity. Their intensity is same. They are what, joining together here. Okay. Intensities are same. What is differing? Their potentials, stopping potentials are different. It says the kinetic energy of the incident radiation is also different. Okay. Then if you observe A and C, both are having different intensity and different stopping potential. Is it clear? Now we will check the answer. First one, if you observe curves, A and B represent curves. A and B represent incident radiation of same frequency. Yes, see, both are having same frequency, same energy, so same potential. Okay, both are having same frequency. Okay, and but of different intensities. Of course, they are deviated here. See, this is one intensity I1, this is another intensity I2. Is it clear? So that is the correct answer. Correct answer. Both are having same frequency, same energy, same stopping potential, but different intensities. So option A. Answer A. Next, 10th one. A 5-watt source has got some power, some energy, okay, emit monochromatic light of wavelength, how much? 5000 angstrom, okay, some single wavelength it's emitting, okay, when placed at a distance of 0.5 meter away from the photocell, okay, 0.5 meter away, it liberates photoelectrons from the photosensitive metal surface. Okay, at that distance it will emit photoelectrons. When the source is moved to a distance of 1 meter, okay, so now the distance is doubled. Before it was half meter, now it is 1 meter, so distance is doubled. Okay, so now the number of photoelectrons emitted will be reduced by what factor? See, you must understand that the number of photoelectrons depends on the distance. Okay, the number of photoelectrons emitted depends on the intensity of the incident radiation. Okay, now we will look at how they are related. Okay, so the intensity proportional to number of photoelectrons is proportional to 1 by distance square. It follows inverse square law. So larger the intensity. So if you double the intensity, you know, if you double the distance away, take it away, then the intensity must reduce by a factor of 4. We will check now again. So number of electrons, N1 or N2 by N1 is equal to inversely proportional to square of the distance, D1 square by D2 square. Okay, you want N2. N2 is equal to N1 initial and distance. Initial distance was half meter, right? Half meter into D2 is 1 meter whole square. Okay, now 1 cancels, you know, square of 2 is 4. So you get N1 by 4. Okay, therefore it will reduce by a factor of 4. So initial value N1 by 4. Okay, so the answer is 4. It is option D. So answer D, because they are asking it is reduced by a factor of how much? It is reduced by a factor of 4. Okay, so option D there. Next, 11th one. Two radiations of photons of energy, 1 eV. First one energy E1 is 1 eV and another energy, radiation's energy is 2.5 eV. Illuminate on a photosensitive metallic surface of work function they gave. Work function represented by phi is 0.5 eV. Work function is the minimum energy needed for the incident radiation to get the metal electron just out of the metal. Okay, that's work function phi. Okay, what is the ratio of maximum speed of the emitted photoelectron? Okay, so now we need to find out V1 by V2. V1 by V2 is how much? We have the photoelectric equation. Energy, incident energy H nu is equal to work function plus half m V max square. Okay, this is the equation. Right. Now what I'll do, I will take this half m V max square to one side. Half m V max square is equal to E minus phi. Okay, because I want velocity square, then velocity ratio in two cases. Okay, so for first equation, what I'll do, half into m into v square, v1 square I'll write, which is equal to E1 minus 5. E1 minus 5 is 1 minus 0.5, 0.5 by second case, that is half m v2 square, half m v2 square is equal to, this is how much? 1 minus 0.5, right? This one. Second one, 2.5 minus 0.5. Okay. Now this half m cancels. If you want this ratio V1 by V2, you have to take the square root of this. 1 minus 0.5 is half. Okay. Next, 2.5 minus 0.5 is again 2. Okay. Both will come in the denominator. 2 into 2. Now square root of this is 1 by 2. So they are in the ratio 1:2, their speeds. Okay. So it is answer B. Answer B. Okay. Next, 12th question. 12th question. A 200 watt sodium street lamp, any light source, okay, its power wattage is 200 watt, emits yellow light of wavelength 0.6 micrometer. Okay, power is how much? Power is 200 watt, emit wavelength 0.6 micrometer, 10 power minus 6 meter. Okay. Assuming it to be 25% efficient in converting electrical energy to light. Okay. So the efficiency is 25% of this one. Then if that is the case, number of photons, the yellow light it emits per second, how much? Number of photons emitted is how much? This is the question. Okay. Efficiency is 25%. Okay, of that value. What is the 25% of this power? 25 by 100 is 25% of this power, 200, is equal to energy by time. Power is work done by time or energy by time. So NHC by lambda into time. So we can have an equation here. Power is equal to work done by time or energy by time. So power efficiency here 25%, 25 by 100 of this 200, which is equal to energy is NH nu. For one photon H nu, for n photons NH nu. Nu is C by lambda into T. Okay. So you have to find out number of photons emitted per second, n by T. Okay. Now we will calculate. Here this one cancels twice, so it is 50. So n by T is 50 into lambda, 0.6 into 10 power minus 6 divided by HC. HC, we can write it as 20 into 10 power minus 26. I'll show you how you get it. HC is 6.625 into 10 power minus 34 into 3 into 10 power 8, right? HC is that much. See, it's a common quantity we get frequently in this chapter. So you can simply simplify and write this value. See, we'll check here. 6 3s are 18, but it is 6.6, little more than that. You can take it as roughly 20. Okay, into 10 power minus 34 into 10 power 8 plus 8 gives you 10 power 26. So always remember HC you need not calculate again and again. It is 20 into 10 power minus 26. Okay. Now here 0 cancels and 10 power 6 minus 6 cancel, 10 power minus 20 comes to numerator. Okay. So here 2.5 This one 5 by 2 is 2.5 into 0.6 into 10 power how much here plus 20 plus 20. Okay, so here you can also write this one as 2.5 into 6. How much you get? 4 means you will get it as 5. 6 means sorry, how much we get? 6 means well, one, just a minute. You can also write it as 2.5, or that's easy actually if you retain 5 by 2. Always it's good to retain like this into, you can make it 6 here into 10 power, when you make this one minus 20, plus 21 here, because you made 0.6 as 6, sorry, 19. You made smaller number big here. So bigger number should be made small here. Okay. 2 3s are. Okay. 2 3s are. This cancels. 5 3s are 15 into 10 power 19 photons. Photons are emitted per second. Per second it will be emitted. Do you have that answer? You have 1.5 into 10 power 20. That is also same. Okay, this is same as 1.5 into 10 power 20. So answer A. Okay, so a little lengthy, but it's not that difficult. Okay, you must know the method of doing manipulation in calculation. Okay. Next question number 13. Okay. The cathode of a photoelectric cell is changed such that work function changes from W1 to W2. See, whenever work function is changed, you must understand that it is a metal that is being changed. Cathode metal is changed. If the current before and after changes by I1 and I2. Initially current was I1, later current recorded was I2. Okay. All other conditions remain unchanged. They didn't change anything. Okay. Frequency, nothing they have changed. Only they changed the metal, from which is having work function W1, later it has become W2. Okay. Then what is the relationship with the intensity, okay, for the two? See, you must understand, if the, unless the distance is changed from the source to the photoelectric cell or photocathode, you can never get a change in current or something like that. Okay, so what is needed actually here, if work function is changed, only metal is being replaced. Okay, nothing has been changed. So intensity before should be equal to intensity after. So that's why I1 must be equal to I2. No change in intensity when you just change the metal. Okay, so that's why the answer is A. Next, 14th one, the work function of a surface of a photosensitive material is 6.2 eV. Okay, they gave work function 5 in terms of electron volt. The wavelength of the incident radiation for which the stopping potential is 5 volt lies in which region? You have to get the wavelength value, then only you can understand. If the wavelength is between 450 to 800 nanometer, you can say that it is visible light. If it is above 850 or 800 nanometer, then you can say it is infrared light. Infrared light lies in infrared region. If the wavelength lies less than, below 450 nanometer, then you can say it is ultraviolet region in which the light wavelength lies. Okay, so you have to compare all these. So first get the wavelength value. Okay. So now what is the equation? We have the equation, yeah, hc by lambda, incident radiation, written like this, phi work function plus phi plus next is EV in terms of potential. So you have to change accordingly. Okay. So here incident radiation's energy is in terms of wavelength lambda. So hc by lambda. Work function is phi plus the what maximum kinetic energy is given in terms of potential. So EV. Now I want wavelength lambda. So make equation for that. Lambda is equal to, so we'll just substitute and get now. Okay. Phi is how much? The potential, sorry, what is that? Phi is the work function, 6.2 plus E 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 and potential is 5 volt. Okay, 5 volt. Is HC. HC is what? HC is how much? 1 minute. In 5 EV only you write. Later we will convert. It is easy. 5 volt is 5 EV. So 5 plus 6, 11.2 EV. Okay. This one. Not in joule. It is in electron volt. Okay. Now I will bring lambda to the numerator. Lambda is equal to HC by 11.2. Okay. HC I told you to take it as 20 into 10 power minus 6, 26 by 11.2. Okay. So here you will get, see when you observe this one, oh yeah, 11.2 it is in this one, no, EV. So multiply by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Okay. Now minus 19 and 10 power minus 26, if you cancel, you get 10 power minus 7. Okay. Now this is 20. This is like 11, I'll take, into 11.2 into 1.6, you know, I will take almost like 3 by 2, but little more than 3 by 2 it is. Okay. So 2 cancels by how much it is? Yeah, 10 of course, 10. Yeah. Now 11 3 is 33 here. Okay. 33. 10 by, it's like 33 into 10 power minus 7. Okay, any mistake we made here? It's 5 plus 6, 11.2. Okay, lambda is HC by 11.2. So here, in order to cancel, no, what I'll do is, I'll write as such 6.625 into 10 power minus 34, because I want to cancel here, easily it will go because 1.6 is there here, into C is 3 into 10 power 8, okay, C into 10, this much, okay. 10 power minus 34, 10 power plus 8, 10 power minus 26, again 10 power minus 19 will cancel, giving rise to, as usual, 10 power minus 7. This one I'll write it as 3 by 2, okay, 3 cancels, okay, little more than 3 of course. Then 2 goes to numerator, okay, 6 2s are 12, little more than 12, okay, little more than 12. Here 11.2, it's like 12 by 11 is almost like 1 point something, okay, 1 point, maybe 1 or so, okay, 1.1 or 1.2, okay, almost so much meter, okay. So here 1.2 into 10 power 7 is like 120 nanometer, okay, roughly almost equal to 120 nanometer, okay, roughly, okay. Now this 120 nanometer is less than 450 nanometer, okay. So 450 nanometer onwards, it is visible light. Now less than that means wavelength less means frequency is more, okay, and it is lying in ultraviolet region. This wavelength will be, you need not go for exact wavelength here, the range you want, okay. So it's a ultraviolet region, okay. This wavelength is having ultraviolet region, so yeah, it is answer C. Answer C. Okay, you need not bother about the exact value of wavelength. You need the range there, that's all. Okay. Yes, next. 15th one. The momentum of a photon of energy 1 MeV in kilogram meter per second will be how much? Energy and momentum, okay, of photon. E is equal to mc square. E is equal to mc square. Okay, so momentum is m into c. Okay, so therefore m into c is E by c. Okay, we want momentum, which is P. Therefore, P is, energy is 1 MeV. Mega means 10 power plus 6. So 1 MeV is 1.6 into 10 power minus 13. 1 MeV is how much? 10 power 6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. 10 power minus 19 and 10 power plus 6 gives you so much. By 3 into 10 power 8 plus 8. Velocity of light in free space. Okay. This you can consider like 3 by 2, little more than 3 by 2 of course. 3 by 2, 3 cancels. 1 by 2 is like half. Almost like 0.5 into 10 power plus 8 goes to numerator. Okay. So that you get 10 power minus 21. Okay. Now almost, it is almost equal to, yeah, you can retain this. If there is answer, fine. Or else you have this one, 5 into 10 power. You make this one bigger. Okay. So 5 into 10 power meter per second is the SI unit of momentum. So answer A. Next, 16th. Yeah, it's a direct question. By photoelectric effect, Einstein proved, it's not Einstein's photoelectric equation, just energy, okay, of a photon, that's all. So it is E is equal to mc square, it is Einstein's mass energy equivalence. E is equal to half mv square, it is just the kinetic energy they gave, nothing else it tells. Okay, E is equal to minus RHC square by n square. Actually, it is minus RHC by n square. You know, that is in atoms concept, you can understand, Bohr's concept. Okay, it is E is equal to h nu. That's all. Okay, so 16th answer A. Next, 17th. So the graph of, you know, 3 metals having, yeah, they are represented by A, B and C one by one. Maximum kinetic energy and frequency, okay, graph is plotted for these, which is the correct graph, okay. Of course, you take only one metal and it's more than enough, okay, and all should be similar, okay, like this. It is a kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy versus frequency. It should be the graph, okay? And the slope of this gives you what? Slope of this gives you what? Planck's constant. Planck's constant should not alter, should not change, okay? So all should have, you know, they should be parallel to each other, because in all the cases you get same Planck's constant, same slope. Understood? So that's why, you know, this is the graph, that is C. Answer C. And this is a threshold wavelength. See, threshold wavelength For A, threshold wavelength, sorry, frequency. For B, threshold frequency. For C, like that. Understood? Minimum frequency. So, answer C. Next, 18th one. Okay. If the momentum of an electron is changed by P, delta P, change in momentum. Momentum is changed by a value, how much? P, they say. Okay. Then the de Broglie wavelength associated with it changes by 0.5%. De Broglie wavelength change by percentage change, delta lambda by lambda into 100% is how much? 0.5%. Wavelength, de Broglie wavelength changes by 0.5% means what? You must understand that it is a percentage change in the de Broglie wavelength, that is delta lambda by lambda, original value into 100%. Okay. What is the initial momentum of the electron? How much? What is the initial momentum? So this I will take lambda 1. Okay. Then what is P1? How much? Okay, actually this is the first PU concept. This one, what in error, concept of error, used to find out the percentage error and all. Okay, so the basic equation is lambda is equal to, or P is equal to H by lambda. Okay, now if you differentiate the equation, and differentiated equation, if you divide by this first equation, you will get the equation as delta P by P1 is equal to minus delta lambda by lambda 1. You know, how you get? By differentiating. Okay, all those things you have learnt in first PU, we are using the results here. Okay, if you differentiate this, okay, and again divide the differentiated equation by this first equation, you will get this. Okay, now I want what? The initial value of P1. Huh? So P1 is equal to minus delta lambda by initial value lambda 1, okay, into P1. Okay, we'll substitute minus delta lambda by lambda means 0.5 by 100, 0.5 by 100 into, correct, no? P1 is gone there. Sorry, it's reverse. P1. Oh, both the sides I wrote P1. No. Just a minute. Here P1 we want. No, I'll take this here. Delta P this way. Delta P into lambda 1 by delta lambda. Okay. Reverse of this. Lambda 1 by delta lambda. It is 100 by, okay, 100 by 0.5, 100 by 0.5, okay, into change in this one, momentum is taken as P. Anyhow, minus, they have not bothered about minus here, okay. So here 0.5 is half, 2 goes to numerator, so it is 200 P, okay. This is the answer, 200 P. So then which is option? It is, yeah, A. Answer A. Okay. Next one, 19th one. The ratio of specific charge of hydrogen ion to that of the electron. I told you then what? Specific charge means it is the ratio of charge of the particle to its mass, E by M. Okay. They are asking you what is the ratio of specific charge of hydrogen ion to specific charge of what? Specific charge of electron. specific charge of electron. See, we will get it now. Hydrogen ion. Hydrogen atom means it consists of one proton and one electron. One electron is removed means then you get hydrogen ion, which is nothing but a proton. Okay. This is nothing but a proton. This is nothing but proton. So charge of the proton is E only. Okay. Then mass of the proton, it is 1836 times more than mass of the electron, you must know. Roughly 2000, sometimes here it is taken as 1840. Okay. So mass of the proton is 1840 times mass of the electron. Mass of the electron. Okay. By means I will write this E here. Then mass of the electron goes to numerator. I will write it as Me. Okay, fine. Now this Me, mass of electron cancels. Charge of the electron, charge of the proton cancels. What you get is 1 by 1840. Okay, so its answer, which one is the option? It is option B. Okay, you must know mass of the proton is 1840 times mass of the electron. This is the idea you must have. Okay, it will be useful in many cases to solve the problems. Huh? Okay. Next, 20th. Okay. Light of wavelength lambda. Wavelength is lambda. Okay. And intensity I on a surface A produces photoelectrons at a rate X. That means photoelectrons at a rate means the current. Current is what? Photoelectric current X. And with a maximum kinetic energy E. Okay. K max is what? E. 4 things they have mentioned. Wavelength lambda, intensity I, at the rate of X means photocurrent X, and maximum kinetic energy E. Okay. Consider the following statements for the effect of changing one parameter at a time. Okay. Doubling I always doubles X. Doubling I always doubles X. This is doubled means this will also be doubled. Correct. Intensity doubled means current is also doubled. First one is correct. Doubling I does not change E. Of course, that is also correct. Intensity doubled means this one, what? Maximum kinetic energy will not be doubled. Okay. Making lambda half wavelength if you reduce, which makes kinetic energy E more than 2-fold. Shall we check this one whether it is correct? Hc by lambda, if it is equal to kinetic energy E, okay. Now, if you reduce lambda to lambda by 2, okay, lambda by 2 means 2 goes to numerator, and then this would have been doubled, okay. But this is not the case. This is not the equation. To double kinetic energy, just making wavelength half is not possible with Einstein's photoelectric equation. What is Einstein's photoelectric equation? It is Hc by lambda is equal to phi plus E. This is the correct equation. Okay, here. Ek or maximum kinetic energy. Okay. Now naturally what happens when you double this will double, plus work function is constant for a given metal, that will always be added. When you make lambda by 2, half when you make, this will be doubled. Kinetic energy, of course, it will be doubled, plus this work function for a given metal, which is a constant that won't change, that you should add up to this doubled value. So that's why the kinetic energy, this kinetic energy will be more than twofold. Okay, more than twofold. That's why, you know, all the three statements are correct. Okay, the first, second, and third. So the answer is last one, D. Okay, that is answer D. Okay. Okay, next question. The maximum velocity, 21st question. The maximum velocity of photoelectrons emitted by a photoemitter is 1.8 into 10 power 6 meter per second. Maximum velocity emitted, okay? Vmax 1.8 into 10 power 6 meter per second. Okay. If E by M, specific charge is also given. E by M 1.8 into 10 power 11 coulomb per kg. Okay. Then the stopping potential of the emitter is how much? Stopping potential of the emitter is how much? See, you must recall that whenever there is a stop potential, okay, then the electron will, you know, either it will get accelerated or decelerated depending upon, okay, what potential is applied. Okay, if there is a positive potential applied, the electron will accelerate. Okay, so what is the equation? EV is equal to half m V max square or V square. Okay, they are asking you to find out the V here. Okay, V is equal to m V max square by this E into 2. Now can you observe here E by m in the denominator? E by m in the denominator. So you just substitute it. So how much? 1.8 into 10 power 11 and this 2 into 2. And numerator V max square twice 1.8 whole square into 10 power 6 square means 10 power 12. Okay, here 1.8, one of the 1.8 will get cancelled and 10 power 11 will get cancelled and you will get 10 here. This will get cancelled and you will get 10 here. Okay, 2 cancels how many times? 0 point or 18 is there. 10 into 1.8 is 18. So 2 nines. So 9 volt is the stopping potential. Okay, yes. It is answer D. Okay. Next 22nd. Yes. When a point source of light is 1 meter away from the photoelectric cell, the photoelectric current was found to be 1 milliampere. What is the distance? Initially D1 was 1 meter. Then the photoelectric current I1 was found to be 1 milliampere was the current. Okay. If the same source is placed 3 meter away, same source is placed at a distance 3 meter away, then what is the photoelectric current? I2 is how much? I told you intensity and distance, they follow inverse square law. I is inversely proportional to D square. Intensity, is varied like this. Same, photoelectric current also directly proportional to 1 by D square. Okay. Now we want I2, right? So I2 by I1 is D1 by D2 whole square. Right? Okay. Now I2, if you want, take I1 to the other side, which is 1 into D1 is 1 by D2 is 3 whole square. So now 1 milliampere by, this is 9. Okay, 1 by 9 milliampere. Okay, it has become I milliampere, right? Okay, I milliampere. This is how much? I million, not 1 milliampere, I milliampere. Okay, it is therefore I by 9. Okay, so I by 9 is the answer. Yes, answer A. Yes. Next, 23rd. 23rd. The work function of a photoemissive material is 4 electron. The longest wavelength of light that can cause photoemission from the substance is, see, they are one and the same actually. Work function is 4 electron volt. Okay, it is a minimum energy needed for the radiation, incident radiation, to just emit the metal from the metal surface. Okay, that is a work function. Now, corresponding wavelength is the maximum wavelength, because energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. Okay, therefore, see, that same thing you have to find out. That's all. Phi is equal to hc by lambda naught. This is a maximum wavelength. They asked you to find out. So lambda naught is hc is 20 into 10 power 26 by phi. How much? Phi is work function is 4 electron volt. 4 into 1.6 into 10 power how much? Minus 19. Because you have to convert into SI unit, no? This 4 eV, it's the electron volt, you have to convert into joule, okay? Now, 16 fours are 64, or this way also you can calculate. 4, how many times? 4 5s are 20. So 5 by, this is 1.6. Okay, so into power, this one 10 power 26, this if you minus 26, this get cancelled means you get minus 7 here, 26 here, plus 19, minus 26 plus 19, you get so much. Now this how shall we simplify? If you make this one as 3 by 2, 10 by 3, okay, 3 point something, okay, into 10 power minus 7, okay, 3, almost 3 times, okay, 300 and, sorry, how much, 3 point something into 10 power minus 7. Okay, so if you want to write in nanometer 3.1 or 2 or something like that, so it is like almost 310 nanometer. Okay, this is the maximum wavelength, okay, needed for above which no photo emission takes place. Okay, threshold wavelength. So here, yeah, the answer is D. Is the answer. Answer D. Okay, if you get 300 also, you can predict. The answer is fourth one only. Okay, you need not go for the exact value. Rough around the if you round off, no problem. Finally, you can predict which is the answer, because 300 is almost equal to 310 nanometer, which is which is D. Okay. Next. Question number 24. When a graph of maximum kinetic energy of emitted photoelectrons versus frequency of radiation is plotted. The intercept, I told you then, the intercept gives you what? Okay, the actual graph is like this. Maximum kinetic energy versus frequency. Actually, we have the equation h nu is equal to work function plus what? Maximum kinetic energy. Now, maximum kinetic energy is along y-axis, right? So, K max is equal to h nu minus phi. Okay, this is of the form y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, so y-axis you have maximum kinetic energy and x-axis you have frequency. So slope is nothing but Planck's constant. So naturally this negative intercept, this one must be what? Work function. Okay, so the which is the option, therefore C, answer C. Next, 25th. If the kinetic energy of a particle is increased to 16 times its previous value, say kinetic energy if you consider as Ek, okay, now later that kinetic energy has been changed to 16 Ek, what is the percentage change in de Broglie wavelength of the particle? You have to find out what is the percentage change in the de Broglie wavelength. What is percentage change of de Broglie wavelength? Delta lambda by initial value lambda 1 or so into 100% is how much? This is percentage change in de Broglie wavelength, first PU concept. Okay, change in wavelength to the original value into 100%. Okay, fine. That is percentage change in de Broglie wavelength. Now E1, initial kinetic energy is Ek or K something K max. So what is the final K? Ek2 is 16 times Ek kinetic energy they gave. Okay, so it's changed like this. So we know the equation for de Broglie wavelength in terms of kinetic energy, lambda is equal to h by square root of 2m Ek kinetic energy. This is the equation. Okay, now we will change lambda 2 lambda, this is lambda 1. Okay, Ek1. Now lambda 2 is h by square root of, no change in mass of the particle or Planck's constant, only energy is changed to 16 Ek. Okay, 16 Ek. Now what you do, you take this, everything we will retain like this in this form. Lambda 2 is h by square root of 2m Ek. Okay, into this root of 16, when you take it outside, it becomes 4 in the denominator, 4. Okay, 4. Now lambda 2 is, this is original lambda, right? This is original lambda, lambda 1 by 4. Lambda 2 is how much? Lambda 1 by 4. Okay. Now we will go for this. They are asking this one. Delta lambda by lambda 1 into 100% is equal to change in this one, lambda 2. Lambda 1 is say lambda 1 minus lambda 2 is lambda 1 by 4. This is change. Okay, by original value lambda 1 into 100%. Into 100%. Now I will take lambda 1 common both in numerator and denominator, and inside you have 1 minus 1 by 4. Okay, into 100%. 1 minus 1 by 4 is 3 by 4. Okay, 3 by 4 of 100 is 0.75, right? 0.75 into 100 is 75%. Okay, percentage change in the de Broglie wavelength is 75%. So it is answer B. Answer B. Next, 26th, the de Broglie wavelength associated with the nth orbital electron. Here you have to combine two chapters, okay? So this chapter as well as atoms chapter, okay? So de Broglie, actually Bohr's concept of, angular momentum for the stationary orbit, mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi. It is the Haddock equation, just randomly given by this one, who is that? The scientist Bohr, okay? Later, after 10 years of his giving the equation, the scientist de Broglie explains, okay? So because there the electron behaving as a wave was an important concept. So de Broglie says electron is a wave, okay? So and he says if the electron is in the first nth orbit, that circumference is integral multiple of wavelength of electron. That's what he says. That is the equation. What is that? 2 pi r circumference is nothing but integral multiple of wavelength. This is what the scientist de Broglie explains about Bohr's nth orbit. Okay. So then here they are asking what is the de Broglie wavelength of electron in the nth orbit. So lambda. Lambda is therefore 2 pi r by n. Okay, this is the answer. So if n is the first state, you just put n1, radius of the orbit, first state. So like that, you keep changing, you get the de Broglie wavelength of electron in different states. Okay. So the answer is answer D. Okay. Option D. Next, 27th. The de Broglie wavelength of an electron is 0.5 nanometer, 0.5 nano, 10 power minus 9 meter, okay. Then the retarding potential to stop it is how much? V is how much they are asking. So we know lambda is h by one more equation. So I included all the problems which is having different equations for de Broglie wavelength. So here we know in terms of potential it is square root of how much? 2 MeV, okay. Now we will check h is 6.625 into 10 power minus 34 by square root of, there is a shortcut again here. We can also write 12 angstrom here, okay, including h, 2 Me. But anyhow, I'll substitute. So what is that? What is to be calculated? V, potential is to be calculated, okay. So potential, if you want, square it out, all the both the sides, okay. You have to square it out. Okay, so what happens here? V goes to this side. This is squared by lambda square. Lambda square, how much? Yeah, I'll write half into half lambda square into 10 power minus 18. Okay, that is over into 2 into mass of the electron 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg, okay, mass of the electron, in charge of the electron 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, okay. So here 10 power minus 34, okay, I'll write separately these powers, it will be easy for us. 10 power minus 34 means how much? 78 here, right? Sorry, 68. Here also, you just look at 31 plus 19, it is 50, 68. All the powers will get cancelled here. Generally, they give like this only in the exam also, so that you can easily solve. Okay. Now, what you have is here, it's like you can write it as 3 by 2 here, 3 by 2. Okay. 2 cancels. One of the 2's will cancel. Okay. This one is like 10 to 5's. This also will get cancelled, 5. This is 3 by 2 here, 3 by 2. So how much? 6, 36. You can make it a round of, like 40. Okay, almost like 40 into this 3 by 2. 2 goes to numerator. Okay, 3 here remains. 3 remains. Okay. So what is left? 40. 2 cancels. This 5 is there here. 5. 5 how many times? 8 times. 16 by 3 you have. So 3 5s are 15. Okay. 0.10 like 3. 5.3 roughly. Yeah, almost little more than that. You have no 5. Okay. You have almost 6. You can write it as almost 6 volt. Okay, because I roughly calculated it. Okay, so somewhere around 6 volt. So answer A. Next, 28th. The de Broglie wavelength of a neutron is at 527 degrees Celsius is lambda. Okay, at a temperature 28, temperature T1, it must be 527 plus 273 means 800 Kelvin. Okay, absolute scale. Lambda 1, let it be lambda. What will be its wavelength? Lambda 2, how much? When the temperature T2 is 127 degrees Celsius plus 273. So 200, this is 300, 400 Kelvin. Okay, we have the equation lambda is equal to h by square root of 3mkt. Okay, now look at how they are related. So you get lambda 2 by lambda 1 is square root of inversely proportional T1 by T2, or square it out. Okay, so you want lambda 2, right? Which is, okay, lambda into square root of T1 is 800. Okay, T2 is how much? 400. Okay, therefore it is cancelling twice. So root 2 lambda is the answer. Root 2 lambda. Okay, it is answer B. So the new wavelength is root 2 lambda. So next 29th. Okay, so the following figures represent variation of particle momentum associated with de Broglie wavelength. So which one is the correct option? See, de Broglie wavelength lambda is equal to h by p. Okay, whenever you have a constant here, these two are inversely proportional. What you get is a rectangular hyperbola. Okay, rectangular hyperbola, that is, as p increases, lambda decreases, or as lambda increases, p decreases. So such graph you find in D. Answer D. Okay, so because they are inversely proportional, if there is the constant is 1, then you will get a fixed what downward graph you would have got, but here there is a value. So what happens? You get a what? A curve of this kind. Okay, next 30th. What will be the de Broglie wavelength associated with the electron revolving around the hydrogen nucleus? Okay, in the first excited state. It is again the combination of dual nature and atoms chapter. Okay, as per the de Broglie's hypothesis, 2 pi r in second orbit is equal to 2 into lambda, because first excited state means n is equal to 2. First excited state means n is equal to 2. You have to find out lambda. Lambda is 2 cancels. Lambda is equal to pi into R2. So pi is 3.14. See, radius of the second orbit is radius of the first orbit 0.53 angstrom into n square. That is the formula. N square is 2. Okay, because r is proportional to n square. Okay, radius of nth orbit. Okay, so it is r, radius of first orbit into second square, 2 square, first excited state. Okay, let me substitute there. 0.53 into 2 2s are 4 angstrom. Okay, so this is like half. This cancels twice. So almost 6.2 into 3.14 is 6.28 angstrom or 628 nanometer. Roughly I am talking about, but definitely you can find the answer. Okay, so it is how much? Sorry, here directly we have no 6. Roughly 6.6 angstrom you have. That is answer D. Okay, 6.6 you have. Roughly it is so much. Okay, my dear students, I could solve 30 questions. Okay, it's definitely it is not enough. Okay, with the help of these, try to solve more problems. Okay, from a textbook. Okay, thank you.